I made that decision that the day that I have kids, their dreams will never be taken away from them for a dollar amount. You have an emotional trigger as one of the pinned posts on your social media. I'm already locked in because you're giving me a transformation that I can see myself in the future with your help. Your frequently asked questions are solutions to people's problem because they need a solution to what they actually have. I love being a strategist and helping people create content that converts because I'm in the trenches. We want to position ourselves as an authority on Instagram. So you actually want to teach. A lot of people don't want to do it, but guess what? You've mastered something that your audience have. So we need to be able to teach.
Being on social media it positions you to talk better, to sell better, to communicate better, and just be out there and position your brand better.
3 types of content which are going to be your goals. The first one is going to be
Welcome to another episode of Access Granted, where I give you exclusive access to entrepreneurs that are killing it in the industry. I am super excited about this episode because I get to just have some girl talk with my sister, Sevyn, social media-ish. What's up, Sevyn? Welcome to Access Granted.
I think I'm more excited for this than you even were. I'm just like this. I cannot wait to just have like a real life conversation with somebody that daily inspires me, that I love, that I appreciate. And work ethic is okay. Work ethic is so beyond. Like I look at you every single day and how you show up online, and I'm just like, if every woman can look at you as an example of what hard work and consistency can give to you. So although I'm grateful for being here, I want to thank you first and give you your flowers that you deserve.
I appreciate you so much. I am so excited about the connection and the bond that we are building and how you are just pouring into me and my brand. You always like, Coach K, do this, wipe that camera off. And, so I'm like, I need you on Access Granted so you can just share some social media tips and some value and give them some gems, because we know social media is king when it comes to building your business, building your brand, and just really getting your message out there. But before we dive in, I want them to know, like, who is Sevyn and how did we get started with social media?
Well, I got started in social media. I always feel like there are 2 decisions that you're going to make in social media. So the first decision that you're ever going to make is this first one that I made. I was actually depressed and suicidal since I was 12 years old. And I couldn't really ever figure out why. It was just like very dark for me. And I always feel like, sometimes God puts you through things so it can be your testimony in the end. And I'll never forget, I got on social media to post a Purple Heart one day, and that's suicidal awareness. And I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I seen one of my friends online, and she was happy. She was around a positive community. She was living life. And at that moment, I said, if she's like this online every day, if I can experience 1% of her happiness, it will be better than 100% that I was feeling in that moment. And I made that decision. I was like, I never want to go back depressed and suicidal. And that's the first decision that you make, is your why for being consistent. Because I said, if I can show up every single day, happy, excited, talking about my journey, the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, life in general, the first decision that you make is why you're going to be consistent on social media. And the second decision of who I am is, what did you want to be when you grew up?
A lawyer.
A lawyer? Oh my God, me too.
Yep, I wanted to be sports and entertainment.
I didn't care which kind. I had seen Legally Blonde, and I was like, I am going to be Elle Woods, honey. Like,
I see that.
I'm like, I'm like, I'm gonna be Elle Woods. That's gonna be me. And I did the things your parents always tell you. You're supposed to go to school, get good grades. That's all you're responsible for. And I did that. I got over 10 schools. And my dream school was Spelman. And I finally got in. I'm like, this is it. I'm going to go to Spelman. I'm going to go to Harvard. And I was at cheerleading tryouts, and we had made it at tryouts. And I'll never forget getting a call. And they was like, hey, we need you to bring $9,000 to financial aid. And it was at that time I was just like, I did the things I was supposed to do. I went to school and I got good grades. And I believe my parents did the best with what they had. But I didn't have $9,000. I knew my parents didn't have $9,000. I knew we didn't have the credit. And I just cried. And it was at that moment that my dreams were taken away from me for $1 amount. Mm-hmm. And the second decision I feel like you make of social media and who Sevyn is that your phone is a money magnet. And my son's first brand deal was $10,500 because I made that decision that the day that I have kids, their dreams will never be taken away from them for $1 amount, especially if the phone in my hand can completely change that. And social media is not going any single place. So that second decision that you make is that your phone is a money magnet. How are you going to use it?
Oh wow, that's powerful. Seven, I've heard your story before, but it always touches me because you always just, shine light on what you went through and how you're using your phone to just make a change and difference, not just for you, but for your family. And I think that's why a lot of us do it, right? Our wives, for our kids, and maybe to get out of hardship or something that we were going through. So I want to just go ahead and dive in and give them a little access. Can we
Let's
just
do
make
it.
that happen?
Let's give them everything
Let's
that
give
we
them
can.
access. So
Let's give y'all every single, no holding back. We don't gatekeep over here. No holding back.
let's do it. So Seven, I have this business and I really want to grow my business. I want to grow my brand, but I've tried to post on social media. I get like 3 or 4 views, or maybe 3 or 4 likes, and I'm just ready to give up. Like, if social media is not working for me, what am I doing wrong, or what should I be doing to really dive into building my business and my brand, or my personal personal brand on social media and making an impact?
Well, I think the first thing is two parts. One in which I have to ask people all the time, are you posting for attention or with intention?
Mm.
And a lot of us as business owners, and I'll dive straight into business owners, we do have a lot of motion and we're not actually in action. Like we say, and I've been there before, I get up, I post at least once every day. And as you're posting once every day, you're getting online and you're saying, hey, buy this cup from me. This is my cup. I have this cup. Or you're saying, this is my service. I pour water. And instead of providing a solution, you're online just selling a business or a service. You're going to keep your views low because you're not showing what solution do you have for your audience. Like, what's genuinely the solution? And as business owners, we do the motion of, I posted, here's my product, here's my flyer. And a flyer is not even marketing, it's awareness. And if you haven't marketing, what am I being aware of, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that we get to figure out is, are you posting with intention? And as you're posting with intention, are you actually speaking to your audience with the solution, right?
That's good.
Can I give you an example?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
I always love a good example, child.
Absolutely.
So when I started my gym, I didn't know nothing about business funding and grants, right? And so we just depleted our savings. Like, we completely depleted our savings to build our gym. But I always see people online say, I do funding, I do funding, I do funding. Come get funding for me. That's the number one thing, right?
Right.
Come get a grant from me. And I said, what if instead of saying I do funding, you say this exact words, right? Have you ever wanted to build your business, but you felt like you had to choose between depleting your savings, which is supposed to be used for emergencies, versus still feeling like you can go after something outside of your 9 to 5? Well, I help you build your dream business without having to beg the bank. There we go. Beg the bank or deplete your savings. I help you gain money to build your business, right? And that's because I'm providing a solution and I'm showing you the transformation. Instead of begging the bank or instead of depleting your savings, you can still build your dream life.
Oh, that's amazing.
Instead of saying, I get funding, I do funding, because you're missing two parts of your target audience that don't even know what funding is.
Yeah, that's powerful. I gotta go make some new content.
We gotta make some new content. We gotta make some new content, because I tell people all the time, because even if you say, have you ever been so broke before? Like, I'm talking about so broke that you're hoping that the card overdrafts. Like, I'm just sitting here hoping that the lady just overdrafts the card, because at the time I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to. I'm building my business. I'm showing up. I'm investing, but I just don't have the money until I get paid. But I'm using my 9 to 5 to finance my dreams. But this is one of the brokest moments of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so that you never have to experience that again, I actually provide you business funding so that you don't have to be broke while you're carrying out your dreams.
Oh, that's big.
Those
So
type
now I
of
wanna
content,
work with you.
right?
Yeah.
But see, I don't even do funding. Don't come to me, child. Look, but that type of content, that's what we call an emotional trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have an emotional trigger as one of the pinned posts on your social media, I'm already locked in, because you're giving me a transformation that I can see myself in the future with your help.
That's amazing. I love how, you talk about find the problem, be the solution. and how it ties into what I teach all the time. So it's two different industries. But one thing I tell my students inside of my community, in order to open up the door to get access to grant funding, you find a problem and you talk about how your business is and your brand is the solution to the problem. That same thing that I'm teaching them, if they can just put it into a reel or a video and post it on their social media page, helps them put their brand out there, awareness for their customers and clients as well. So I love that.
It's correct, because the crazy thing is everybody can make money online. Every single person can make money online. You just have to find somebody who can you help with the transformation of 10% of their life. Just 10. So as you get into this 10% of, like you said, of I just need to be able to have a solution, all you have to do is figure out who is your audience that you want the solution for. Because if your solution is for everybody, then it's for nobody at all. Because you can't solve a problem for every single person. Imagine every single person that you've ever ran to, nobody gets the same version, right? So we want to actually solve as long as you can find a target audience that you have a solution for, you can make money online.
That's good. So you actually teach this information, and I love the way you teach. You break it down to where, like, my daughter's 14, and she's like, I want to be in Sevyn's community. So I want you to give my audience just some resources and maybe some tips on how to truly dive into social media and how to maybe some resources or some tools that they should have in order to start marketing their business and their brand online.
Okay, perfect. I always love to get some tips, child. So this is going to be the first thing that I do. So have you ever been on a first date with somebody? And maybe you haven't, but if you went on a first date with somebody and all they did was brag about themselves, they told you where they went to school, they tell you about their job, their car, their house, they tell you all the things that's great about them, all their great personality traits, they bring the table to the table, and they never give you 5 seconds to think about what life would look like if you dated them, would you go on the next date?
No.
Okay, perfect. So that's the first step, is your bio is your first impression and your first date. And a lot of people are bio because we want to show people that we're an authority. We want to tell all of our accolades. We want to brag about ourselves. So the first thing that I would want everybody to do is to fix their Instagram bio, fix your social media bio, because you're missing leads because that's your first impression and you only have 30 seconds. So inside of your bio, you want to have immediately what you help and who you help with, right? What it is that you help and who you help with. And I actually have a whole chat prompt, but what I'll do is if you just DM me the word grant, anybody from yours, I'll send you an actual prompt, because AI isn't going anywhere.
I love it.
AI makes your social media so much faster, and we can just make sure that you have this prompt you put in the chat, and it actually will tell you this is where you're missing people, because your bio doesn't show immediately what you help and who you help with.
That's good.
Because you have 30 seconds, literally 30 seconds to grab somebody's attention, and you want to be able to say, this is exactly how you can visualize myself in your future immediately. The second thing, you guys, is one of my favorite things to do is make a reel in 10 seconds. Can I show you?
Yeah.
Okay. While we sit here, I'm going to make a reel in 10 seconds, but I would tell everybody how to do that is you want to download CapCut. Inside of CapCut, they actually have a thing that is called AutoCut. So I have a few videos from backstage of InvestFest yesterday, which was so amazing. You did so great on stage.
Thank you so much.
So I'm just going to go and select 5 clips. Most people think that they don't have time to work social media, but it's not that you don't have time, you don't have strategy. Because you're burnt out from posting all the time with no direction. So I just made a reel that fast as we just sat here and within those 10 seconds.
Wow. Oh, wow. See what I'm saying, y'all? Every time I see Sevyn, she teaches me something, because, listen, so if I have several, there's a lot of people watching this who have just content just sitting in their phone, and they feel like, oh, I don't have time to edit it. I don't have time to do it. All they need is CapCut.
All you need is CapCut, because as soon as you get CapCut, right, and you go inside of AutoCut, you select the few clips that you have, and let me show you how you can actually do this to where you make money. Okay? I don't want to do it to where you just post it. I want to do it to where we make some money, right? So the average person is going to do it, and we're going to put a cute song over it, and then we're going to just post a reel and it be up. But that doesn't show your audience. It doesn't necessarily speak to them. So if I go in CapCut and I go into the AutoCut, the first thing that you want to actually have is a visual hook. Most people, 90% of people, listen to their phone on silent. So if I don't have a visual hook come up, meaning a text saying what this is, then I'm already missing an audience, right? Then, so if I have a visual hook on top of this reel that takes me 10 seconds, so all I have to do is go to text and add in a text to this that just gives a title, right? And we want to make sure your title is like a movie trailer. You have 3 seconds to grab somebody's attention. So what is that movie trailer that you want to say? So maybe as an entrepreneur, it'll say my reel that I just made for just speaking at InvestFest for the very first time. Social media is just only 8 months. I said, what if I fail? Because that's more relatable than my first time speaking. So we have that hook, right? And it's called hook relatability. Then the second thing that we're gonna go in, instead of just having a song playing on there, why not put a voiceover? You have two options on social media. Either you're an authority or a consumer. Most business owners think that they're an authority, but you're actually posting as a hobby and you never show social media that you have value to give. If you show up online, you get online and you just scrolling, you doom scroll in the morning. We doom scroll and we say we're looking for ideas and I need to post this and I'm researching what actually works. But before you scroll, post one, right? But outside of that, if you give no value to social media, Instagram says, oh, hey, they're only on here consuming information. So I'm going to put them in the consumer category. So you're not shadow banned. There's just no reason to push your content out other than the audience that you already have because you're just on here to get information.
My sister is on fire. Let me.
But if I want to be positioned as an authority, meaning I've mastered a skill that my target audience wants that end result, I need to be able to give value. So as I give value, I give tips because a lot of people think if I give value, then if I give away something for free, if I give the value, then people aren't going to buy from me. No, it's the complete opposite. They're thinking if you give me this value, I just wonder what you actually have that's paid. So I want to position myself as an authority. How do I do that? I take away just the trending sound and I add a voiceover. So all you have to do is, I always ask people, what's 5 frequently asked questions in your field? What's yours?
How to get grants, where to find grants. Do I need a grant writer? Can I use AI?
So can we make a piece of content for you real
Absolutely,
quick?
let's do it.
Okay, perfect. So, Coach K, do I need a grant writer? And what you do back is, this is position you as an authority, right? You would say, if somebody's wondering if they need a grant writer to get a grant, all you have to do is I ask the question, you have the answer back in the question, and then that's your first piece of content.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So if somebody's wondering if you need a grant writer to get access to grant funding, the answer is no. You can use and leverage AI to be your grant writer. So go over to AI and type in this prompt. My name is Coach K. I have a business, Coach K LLC. I want to get access to $50,000 to $100,000 in grant funding. I want you to act as a certified grant writer who has over 10 years of experience and a 98% success rate. Your job is going to be to act as my grant writer and help me get access to grant funding. Do you understand? This prompt will help you get access to $50,000 to $100,000 in grant funding for your business.
Perfect. And then all you will have to say is drop prompt below, and I'll send you this prompt. So all that was one frequently asked question. That's one piece of content. And guess what? You get to rework that in as many ways as possible. So if you're looking for your first grant, this is where you start. So your next frequently asked question, and I would say, because I would be wondering, how do I get started? What's the first thing I need when I want a grant?
First thing you need is your vision.
So instead, right?
Right.
The word that we missed is the first thing you need when you want a grant.
First thing you need when you want a grant is.
Go ahead.
So the first thing you need when you want access to grant funding is your vision. So you have to be able to communicate what you're going to do with the grant funding and how the grant funding is going to help you make an impact and impact others as well. So if you want to know more about grant funding and opportunities, comment vision below and I'll send you the link to get started.
Okay, so this is perfect. So you see, now we have 2 pieces of content, right?
Right.
We have the first one, which is, and we're just asking frequently asked questions because guess what you do? You're not selling a product or a service, you're giving a solution. Right. Your frequently asked questions are solutions to people's problem because they need a solution to what they actually have. The only difference that I would make is each time I would give 3 things with what I'm saying. So I would say vision, this, and this, right?
Gotcha.
And then I would say comment blank below if you want more information or because people don't know what to do. We're used to being told. So as long as I always end with the call to action, I'm going to get more leads. I'm going to get more people on my page. But a lot of people think social media is hard. And guess what? if you answer the question that people have a problem to, and you provide the solution, that's how simple you make content. Now you take those 5 questions, and guess what? Now I said, what's the first thing that I need for grant funding? I can take that same reel that you made and now make it into a carousel. That's why I said you give 3 things, because your first post is going to be, what do I need when I first want to start a grant? It could be just a static photo. And then I'm able to put in, because Instagram is now pushing out carousels because it's value information, the 4 photos of the 3 things I need, and the last picture is a call to action. But guess what? That same thing that you just said, not only am I able to make it a piece of content of you actually saying it, I can now add it to that voiceover that we made in CapCut, and it could say how to get your first grant, and it could just be a video of you walking through InvestFest.
That's good. Oh, that's so good. But what I love is, even with over 300,000 followers on social media, I'm still a student. I'm
Yeah.
still learning. And so, there's always people like, oh, they know how to do it. They've been doing it a long time. It's like, no, I'm constantly learning because Instagram is constantly changing. So I need CapCut.
You need CapCut.
What are some other tools that I need?
Speaking of Instagram constantly changing, and I love that you're always a student, because I tell my students all the time, I love being a strategist and helping people create content that converts, because I'm in the trenches. Like, I'm doing the work, I'm creating content.
So you know
I'm
what
like,
works.
I'm literally in it. I'm up with the updates because I want to know what works. And I love, with being a business owner, one of the best leadership traits to have is to be able to pivot. And social media always teaches you how to pivot. But one pivot that a lot of people haven't made is trial reels.
That's good.
So last month, I'll say the last 3 weeks, I've gained over 10,000 followers. I'm utilizing trial reels. You can post up to 5 per day. So what does this mean? You don't have to make any new content. This is what I mean by strategy, right? You don't need a whole bunch of new things. You don't need to go batch a whole bunch of content. You don't need a new camera. You need strategy. So if you go and see your most high performing content, and the best way to do this is actually through Instagram edits. A lot of people go through insights, but if you go to Instagram edits, it'll actually break down, and you want to see these 3 types. What was the most saved? What was the most shared? And what did you get the most follows from? A lot of people go from likes, but just because somebody likes you doesn't mean that they'll buy from you. If they save your content, they share your content, that means that you're gaining trust with them. So if I go to Instagram edits and I go to my insights and I see within the last 30 days, what got the most saves, what got the most likes, what got the most shares, right? And I go and look and I see these things and I see who followed me from what. And Instagram now has it to where you can see exactly when somebody liked your post. So what was the exact second that, like, what you said that they liked your post?
That's good.
This is teaching you what type of content you actually need to put out. So as I see my best performing content, what you want to do is take that content and you're going to go post it like you're about to post a reel. And instead of posting it to your main page, you're going to go and post it as a trial reel. What it does when you post it as a trial reel on Instagram is Instagram pushes it out to a whole new audience. Again, we're speaking value, which shows us not being a consumer. And they're showing this post to a brand new audience, because your post right now is not always likely that it'll go to the explore page and be on new eyes. But trial reels mean you get access with the same content to a brand new set of eyes. And what those people now are able to follow you. And this post is actually never up on your page.
Oh, that's good. You actually taught me that. And I have a trial reel right now that's going viral. It has over 758,000 views. Shares was like 2,000 and something shares.
Imagine if you didn't post it because it had already did good on your page once.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the whole audience that we're missing, because a lot of people think, oh, if it went once, it's like, this is my one hit, like, this is so great. And then we leave it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, let's build on that momentum. Like, if it did that great on your page, you know what I do once a week?
What's that?
I repurpose it back into my stories, because it's always new eyes on your page that never seen that content.
Oh, that's big.
So if you take that reel and you put it on your stories, guess what? That picks it back up into the algorithm. So now new eyes and new people are sharing it, saving it, and the best thing that you can do right now is repost. Are you using repost?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So
You told me already. I'm going to listen.
Look, I'm like, I don't know if you're listening, but using repost is actually how I just had a video hit 1.4 million. I had another video that just did 1.3 million as well. And it's from repost, because Instagram made it to now where people don't have to steal your work. They can actually just repost it directly, and it appears on their main page, and you get the followers and the views for something that people may not have seen.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Sevyn, you always just drop so much value. How do, as I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to start executing. What are some things that I can do? Maybe I'm still a working entrepreneur and I feel like I don't have the time to make this happen. Do I, I've heard about people doing like batch content. I heard about people going to like ChatGPT and creating a schedule. How do I really like make this convenient for me, but still show up as well?
So, how much time do you think that the average person needs to make content?
I would say, from experience, I would say maybe a day, right? But maybe 30, 45 minutes a day.
Okay, so good. So that's the first part is that most people think that it takes forever,
Mm-hmm.
and it actually doesn't. I actually was able to start going to the top 3% when I did network marketing solely off of social media. And I used to give myself 30 minutes before work,
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes on my lunch break, and 30 minutes after
Oh,
work.
wow.
And that's because a lot of the time people look at it as so bad, like, oh, I just want to go full time as a content creator and then not do a 9 to 5. But it's like, if you understood the time that you could utilize, we're so quick to jump straight into entrepreneurship, not knowing that being your own boss is one of the hardest things that you can actually do.
Mm-hmm.
And that the money that you can make passively around doing what you're already doing is what's actually going to skyrocket you to the next level because you're more relatable to the average person with having a job and doing social media.
That's
Right?
good.
So that would be the first thing I do. The second thing is I like for people to utilize this method. It is called MBLG. Okay?
Okay.
MBLG. So what is MBLG? MBLG. You want to go ahead and map this out. A lot of people don't use this, but I want you to start doing it when you're making content so you're not doing it aimlessly. It's a shot list.
Okay.
Inside of my shot list, and I write this out, right? I write this shot list out, and M is going to be your main shots. So, for instance, we have this camera right here. That's going to be our main shots. This is going to be the shot where we're showing up and we're speaking directly to the camera, okay? This is going to be the main shot of my video. Then we have B. As you see, we have this side camera over here, which can get a different angle. That's what you call B-roll. That's where I'm going to get movement. It makes your videos more cinematic, right? And it makes it to your reels a little bit more impactful because people can see not just you talking directly to the camera. Imagine a podcast where it only has one view and that's it. It's a little boring, right?
Right.
So I want to have my main shots, M. I want to have B, my B-roll shots. I'm going to write this down. Then the other thing is I'm going to have my location. So right now, we're right here recording, right? So I always say this, if you change the location and you have on the same outfit, that's new content. If you change the outfit in the same location, that's new content. If you change the location and that outfit, that's new content.
That's good.
So as we're sitting right here, we could record the exact same podcast and batch it if we just change out our clothes. Or we could take this outfit and put it in a different side of the house and we can record again. That's new content. So the L is going to be for location. Write down what are the locations that you can have. You can have one outfit on and take a picture in 5 different places, make a reel in 5 different places, and now you have 10 pieces of content.
Okay.
Okay? Then the third thing is going to be is G, which is your goals. This is where it comes in when you said, how do people do social media, right? With a little bit of time is a lot of people know the main shots. They know the B-roll shots that they want, and they know the location, but they never map out the goals. It's 3 types of content that you need to master. Do you know the 3 types?
No.
I can tell you?
Yeah.
All
Tell
right,
me.
perfect. It's 3 types of content, which are going to be your goals. The first one is going to be growth content.
Okay.
You want to master getting new eyes on your page, but within your niche. So I did a Nicki Minaj trend, y'all. I was doing it on a teacup, and it was so funny. I was actually outside of the hospital doing it, and I said, I can't teach you how to do the Nicki Minaj trend, but I can teach you how to walk through text. Why do we want to do it within our niches? Because if you do viral content or you do trending sounds, you do trending audio, trending dances, and you don't do it to relate to your niche or the problem that you're solving for your audience, they come to your page and they be like, oh, she don't dance. She don't do the Nicki. She don't dance and she not doing this. Like, wow, I was going to follow her. She do social media. But if I tell you I can teach you how to walk through text, that's growth content that gets new eyes on my page. And you already know what I do, right? So we want to master growth content. The second part of content that we want to master, remember when I was like, have you ever been so broke before? Like are you a first generational entrepreneur? Like you're just figuring it out? Like you really didn't have a blueprint? I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know that if I got an LLC that they know your address. if you don't post it correctly. I didn't know that for grants and funding that you have to have certain words within your LLC, right? And then I also didn't know about having a virtual address, so that takes all those things away. And I did my first LLC by myself, but my second LLC I actually went through one of my friends, Stephanie, right? But if you want her information, just drop Steph below and I'll send you the link. That's called storytelling. I'm giving you relatability and I'm showing you a problem that we both have, but instead of just dwelling in the problem, I have a solution for you that helped me. All I have to do is have relatability. I'm going to talk about the body, which is what we both have, and I'm going to give the solution. The third piece of content is value content. Remember, we said we want to position ourselves as an authority on Instagram. So you actually want to teach. A lot of people don't want to do it, but guess what? You've mastered something that your audience have. So we need to be able to teach online. So remember how I said, have you ever been so broke before? That's storytelling content. If I want to go into value content, I'll say, if you're broke right now, do this. So for value content, I don't talk about relating. I actually state your problem right there at the top because I automatically have the answer to it. And I'm going to give you some tips when I'm telling you immediately I have the solution to a problem that you're facing. But not only that, I know how to get to the end result that you want.
Ooh,
So that's going to be your goal. MBLG, main shots, B-roll shots, location, and goals.
That's powerful. That is fire. So you are teaching all of this inside. You have an amazing challenge coming up.
I do.
And you are teaching this information inside of your challenge. Talk about that because I can't wait to be a part of the challenge so you can help me with strategies. I mean, the things that you teach me already have helped me grow my platform, the trial reels, the wiping off my camera so my phone's not dirty. You guys, we were at an event and I was filming and I was done filming. And she was like, wipe off your camera. Take that down. So
Y'all had to tell her because it just simply because you want to know what's crazy is one of my clients, and this is what like mainly my challenge is about, is one of my clients, Mark, is him 500. He's known for earning $35 million before 35, right? And I worked with different things like Adidas and Target, and a lot of people have mastered internet sales. So he was already a multimillionaire, right? But I said it's a difference between internet sales and social media marketing. As we get into social media marketing and we're doing it as an actual strategy, meaning we have the goals of this content. I'm not just putting this content out and I don't know the goals of this content. We have different things like a shot list. We have a schedule for the content. We know what times it's going up. We're putting on multiple platforms. Not only is he up 40,000 followers within the first month, but outside of that, his sales were up 35% as a millionaire. So, and that's from social media. So the main things about my challenge is that I feel like a lot of business owners show up every single day and you're burnt out, you're tired, and you're actually doing the work. And you don't need new talent. You don't need new talent. I had somebody that braided my hair. Have you ever got boho braids, right? I had somebody that braided my hair. And at the time, their service was $150. And I said, I want to show you how to angle your content, different ways to take your video, different things to put in your caption. That one service that was $150 is now $750 from one Instagram post. And you're going to stand on your feet all day with 4 or 5 clients to achieve that same amount. You didn't need a new talent. Your business structure isn't bad. Your social media marketing just isn't what it is. So now that's a $750 service called the 7 Not List, of course. But nothing changed. Your talent didn't change. Your strategy did. And I want to be able to show business owners it's not that you're, showing up online and you need to be more talented or you need to be able to do more or you're not enough. Because we feel that as entrepreneurs, like it's so heavy on us as business owners. And it's not that. The best marketer wins. As long as you can outmarket and you can actually do social media correctly, then your business will win. And that's what my challenge is teaching people about. The small things like wiping off your camera, getting great content. Majority of our content can actually come from our iPhone, believe it or not, right? 95% of my content is from my phone. 95% of my content is from my phone. Majority of your content can come from your phone, and you don't need a new talent. Your business structure isn't horrible. We just need to fix your social media marketing.
They need to be in social media-ish.
They need to be in social media-ish. And we literally do this live. And I'm very hands-on because I feel like if I can get in there and learn with you and show you the things that's working and the small tweaks. It's one thing about having access to information. It's another thing about having access to the person. And I've been doing social media for 10 years, and my mom was my only like. My mom was my only like. And I'm like,
remember that.
I'm going to get up and I'm going to post again.
Yeah, yeah.
And being able to master that over the 10 years, I want to show people you don't have to go through those same exact mistakes I did, but this is how we can maximize your strategy in a short amount of time.
That's big. I love that. I remember being my first in-person event I had. It was so small that we had it in the living room of a investment property that I had. So maybe 30, 40 people in the room. To yesterday speaking in front of thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs. So it's just the consistency piece.
Don't you feel like the speaking in front of thousands feels so good because of...
Yeah. So as we were on stage, I felt, I felt my leg like tremble a little bit. And I'm like, girl, you do this. You get millions of views. I had to reposition myself. You get millions of views on social media. You have a podcast that gets 50,000 views. And so, you've spoken in front of an audience that 10X's this room. So, it just being on social media, it positions you to talk better, to sell better, to communicate better, and just be out there and position your brand better. But what fuels me the most is when people come up to me and say, hey, you posted a grant and I applied for that grant and I got approved for a grant. Or you taught me about how to properly set up my business, and now I've quit my job and I started my business. So what fuels me the most is the impact that I'm making just from social media.
So good. And you want to know where that comes from? Remember that word we use is the value content. Most people don't want to go there. And it's like, if you didn't give that out, people wouldn't have the opportunity to come up. The impact wouldn't matter if you didn't give the value. But what I love about your journey as well, in which something that we teach inside of social media is, in which I think a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners would do so much better, is your personal story matters. And personal branding actually means more than what people actually think. Because like you just said, if you document your journey and I'm able to see the impact of your first event, do you know what that makes me feel like? Outside of the lifestyle marketing, because I love that you're not really a lifestyle marketer. I can trust in you from the value that you give, and I don't have to see the designer brands and the watches and the cars. I honestly don't know what kind of car Coach K drives, y'all. I don't know. And I love that because you're actually able to do it through value and documenting your journey. I love your story of you beginning from the bank and how quick the journey went. But that's what relates to your first level audience. And it's 3 types of audiences that we're able to relate to. And the first is those people that come in and you documenting your journey matters. You showing, and a lot of people are so afraid to fail that they don't want to show right now. Start where you are with what you have, and you'll end up with way more. And you showing that this is where I started, and then it's the stage that impacted now. So if I were you, I would go and I would
versus how it's going.
How it started versus how it's going, which attracts the craziest amount of new eyes on your page, because it says, hey, I'm not where you're at right now. I'm not there yet, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to get there. And what we do is, with the growth content, which is new eyes, how it started versus how it's going is a trend. That gets me new eyes on my page, right? And so I'm going to come in with this how it started versus how it's going. Just because I like you, though, doesn't mean that I'm ready to buy from you. So I'm still here at this first level of audience. But then once you start teaching me storytelling content, what you just said is, I first started, my event was so small, but then I spoke in front of thousands of entrepreneurs and my legs still trembled. That made me feel like, if my leg is trembling right now where I'm starting at in this audience, that eventually one day I'm going to be on a big stage like you. That's storytelling content. So it helps me build trust, which, while I'm right here in storytelling content, you're relatable and you build trust. It takes me into your third piece of audience, where now I say, well, Coach K, I'm here, and was, like we just said, with your content of the value content, how do I get my first grant? What is it that I need? That's what's going to end up selling me.
That's good.
Because I've moved to relatability. Now I trust you, so I'm ready to buy, but you have to show me that you actually know what you're talking about, not just that you're relatable. So the value content is going to end up helping me buy. And so then guess what? When I see you at InvestFest, and I can say, hey, I applied for this grant. You helped me change my life, and now I'm inside of your community.
Let's do it. I love it. Thank you, Sevyn. This has been amazing. I don't want to wrap it up. We're going to have to do part 2.
We're going to have to do part 2.
We're going to have to do
to do part 2. But before we go, I wanted to, you said something about time.
Yeah.
And the average person doesn't have that much time. So this is what I do, right? And I call it my lazy entrepreneur prompt because, and most of the time we don't have time. And when I actually was a hairstylist, I only had, like I said, the 30 minutes. So I came up with the prompt that actually helps the average person, whether they have a 9 to 5, or if you're a business owner and you just don't have that much time, or if you're just getting started. I want you to act as a social media strategist. You're going to insert your niche. I would say I'm a social media strategist, and I only have, you can put 30 minutes, 1 hour each day to plan, script, film, and edit content because you want to make sure that you're saying all parts. I need a weekly plan that helps me batch efficiently, maximize my limited time, and still create high converting content without burning out. Please create a full content plan for the week based on the time I have available each day. Make sure to write out each day with timestamps so I know what to work on, when to switch tasks, and how to get the most out of every minute. Do you understand? And what that prompt does is, because I want people to know, again, it's not that you're burnt out. It's not that you need more talent. You need more strategy. And if you only have 10 minutes a day, you can build your business and make money online.
Ooh, that's power. That's a powerful way to end it. Thank you so much, you guys. This has been another amazing episode of Access Granted. I am super excited about this episode and all of the value you have got from this, but I want you to make sure you share it with somebody else who can benefit from the same information. So like, subscribe, but take this link and share it with at least 3 people that you love. Comment your biggest takeaway below and make sure I see you inside of Social Media Ish. Have a good day.